it on Thanksgiving, or can you eat what you want knowing you got a big game the next day?
There's some people that, kind of have to watch what they eat, but, I'm kind of a guy who runs a little bit lighter, so I'm able to go all out, really. So it's great for me.
What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving? What do you like best?
Just getting together. I think Y's having the whole D-line over after our meal here, so that's going to be a blast. That's going to be great.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? I'm kind of a mac and cheese guy when it comes to Thanksgiving. Yep.
Can you see a difference from Nebraska's offense between that first week with Holgerson at USC and then last week against Wisconsin? Just more comfort in what they're maybe switching up or doing? Do you see any difference?
Nothing huge. Yeah.
What was kind of the message, kind of amidst all the kind of distractions, for lack of a better word, last week? What was kind of the message from kind of the team leaders?
Like in terms of, just blocking out the noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what it boils down to. KF, he hammers it every week, just blocking out the outside noise. Everybody outside is going to have something to say. And the only opinions that matter in this building. So, something we harp on.
For a lot of seniors on the defense, will it be a more inspired performance for those guys?
Yeah, it's their last game in Kinnick. Obviously, it's a huge one. That doesn't necessarily mean they're entitled to win the game. They're still obviously going to have to come out and compete. But, yeah, it's definitely a big game for them.
Is there a favorite memory from any of the seniors that really jumps out to you?
Not off the top of my head. No. But I'm sure there's great moments. No.
What are these rivalry games like? How much more feels like at stake?
Yeah, I feel like KB does a really good job of it's just another game. We try not to focus on that too much. Obviously, it's Nebraska. Everybody knows that. It's a big rivalry. But at the end of the day, just another game. So.
I know you had talked about it a few weeks back, but when in high school you made the jump sophomore year to junior year and made the growth ahead of your junior year, what spurred that, I guess?
Like in terms of physically?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just eating a lot of food, really. That's kind of what my off seasons look like, still to this day. And winters kind of, periodically throughout the season, I typically lose a little bit of weight. And the winter is a really good chance for me to, pack some pounds on, which obviously I'm going to need to do to, play the run a little bit better. But yeah, it's just pretty much get as big as possible in the winter. So
you played on as a sophomore. You weren't on varsity as a sophomore, is that right?
No.
Okay. And then you have some injury toward the end of your?
Yeah. So freshman year, Dad was the head coach. Benched me. I was like 130 my freshman year. Skinny little kid, skinny little safety. Sophomore year, got up to 165, feeling a little bit better. Played linebacker, broke my foot second game. That stunk. But then just kind of, did what I did. Same thing in the offseason, try to get as big as possible. Got up to 190 junior year. First year DN, just kind of running around out there, just trying to get the ball. And yeah, it's just pretty much year after year, I've just been really focused on really just getting bigger. So.
What else do you remember from that, just leading up to that junior season? What worked, I guess?
I feel like I've always had good energy when I play the game. And just being able to hone those skills, I feel like I wasn't the most athletic guy in high school. I feel like I kind of had to grow into my body a little bit and really just trying to calibrate all my movements, I guess, was the main focus there. So.
Was there when did you realize you could kind of take it somewhere?
Yeah, that junior year, I think, at the end where I was really starting to. I didn't have too many sacks, but I had a lot of TFLs. I just felt like I had an extra step on these guys. So yeah, at the end of my junior year, I thought maybe I can do this. So.
And so your brother played. He did play baseball at Iowa. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
What was that like? Or how did that influence your decision to come here, or just?
No,
if any at all.
I definitely, without my brother, would not be probably one of the biggest role models in my life. He's the hardest worker, great kid. His route wasn't, ideal. He went JUCO out of high school, and he battled his way up to a program like this, which obviously is really inspiring. So yeah, he's had a huge impact in my life. You know, he's just kind of paved the way, like his work ethic, everything he's done. So yeah.
What else? Like, what else do you just admire about him?
He's just a good person. You know, there's everything about him. He does stuff right. Just a good person. Yeah. Yep.
So was it, when you committed Iowa, was he here yet or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Nope.
So just take me through. Once you started getting recruiting attention, what was that process like?
Yeah, I think when I was starting out, I think my first offer was Western Michigan, which I think Coach Lester was the first guy. Ironically, yeah, he was the first guy to give me an offer. And you know, back in junior year, obviously, you know, I knew I could do it, but I didn't know if I was the Power 5 level yet. So I was kind of banking on, like, you know, maybe a little bit of action. You know, started getting the MAC schools and some FCS schools, and then Iowa State was my first offer. Campbell came and watched me lift, gave me my first offer, which was, you know, that was great. But ultimately, I kind of decided, you know, if I wanted to be tight end or DN, and wanted to be DN, and wasn't a huge fan of the idea of playing in a 3-4, just because, you know, you're eating a lot of double teams. But yeah, ultimately that's just what it boiled down to. I knew I wanted to stay in the state, and yeah. Yep.
So was it? I read something that said you had committed, and then is it Alabama, Notre Dame? Like, did they reach out to you after you committed?
So Notre Dame, they wanted me to run some routes for them, and you know, play tight end there. And then Alabama, their recruiting coordinator was trying to get me on the phone, but at that point, I mean, I wanted to go to Iowa. So
Why? Like, I mean, why did you not even entertain? Like, what made you feel so strongly about Iowa?
just the culture here. I mean, it's something I said a couple weeks ago, but they're just so unique in the way that you know, it's just strictly business here. There's not a whole lot of, especially KB. KB is one of the only guys that is just unapologetically himself. Just like tells it how it is. I mean, he's seriously one of a kind. KB is, I mean, he's great. I mean, great coach, but he's just, he really embodies the Iowa culture. Just not a lot of flashiness, just let's go to work. And yeah, that's what I love the most.
Was it him and Neiman that, like, kind of recruited you?
Yep,
or?
yep. Mainly Neiman, but yeah. Saw KB on the junior day visit. Was able to chat with him a little bit. And he doesn't sugarcoat things. A lot of these recruiters, they like to, you know, they like to hype you up. But not KB. KB says it how it is, and that kind of earned my respect. So.